talk about UFC because the question on my mind, it's a question on a lot of people's minds. Is watching the UFC technically considered a homosexual act? And is the UFC legally gay pornography?
Yes, absolutely. It is gay pornography. I believe one time, who was it? Josh Koscheck, or it was Anderson Silva that he whipped his penis out and he inserted it into Vanderlei Silva. I believe it was. It happened quickly. It was controversial, but it happened. Yeah, man. How could you possibly? If it's a trolling question, bravo. But it's not trolling. This is what people say when they actually have serious questions, but they want to disguise it behind something edgy, like trolling. Trolling's fucking something the kids do, right? Oh, okay. So he's watching UFC homosexual. Breaking news from ESPN is watching UFC. Breaking news from ESPN is watching UFC a homosexual act.
I know a lot of people have wondered this in a long, like they're like, let's go to a bar and watch the UFC. And you think about it and you're like, is this technically sodomy? Is this homosexual?
Well, let's think of it technically. Technically, sodomy would be like anal penetration, and I don't think that's allowed in the UFC. I think that's like a foul. Like you get like a point deducted for sodomy. Sodomy deduction 1 point. Refs, do you see that? Sodomy 1 point. Owen Benjamin, you seem so frail as a human, as a human man, talking about this ridiculous notion of these warriors, modern day warriors. It's almost like asking the question, is fighting to the death as a gladiator a homosexual act? Because I've seen a lot of the times these gladiators, they will get into these precarious situations, they'll get behind this guy. It'll look like he's fucking him, but really he's slitting his throat. The whole thing's barbaric. But is that gay? No. Oh, and there's actually a move called the oil check in wrestling. It's actually like where you grab the guy by the taint and like rip him around. So I can see what you're talking about, Owen, but it's like one of these questions or one of these things we would laugh at in sex education. Oh, the penis gets inserted into the vagina.
Sitting next to a bunch of guys watching a bunch of guys dry hump to what appears to be climax. Is that a homosexual act?
Is that all they see it for? Is like, because I'll watch for the knockouts, something like the spinning kicks. I've seen some, like, it looks barbaric, dude. Some of the knockouts, like someone will just plant their shin at 60 miles an hour across someone's freaking face, and it looks like they die when they hit the ground. They'll like spaz up and go stiff, and it's like someone call the mortician. And then Owen's like, yeah, but did the guy stick a finger up his ass while he was doing it?
So, I will make my case that I do believe it is a homosexual act. And
I can't fucking wait. Oh my god, I can't wait. You pussy.
I'm going to use a little music here because that's what all the documentaries always do. And it adds to the...
Oh, he can't get over the porcelain documentary. He's all upset about how he got shit on by porcelain. It's a great documentary, by the way. You should go watch it. But now he's all like, oh, these documentary guys. Fucking... Who is that? Herzog? One of the great documentarians? Yeah, he's fucking a loser. So's porcelain.
Case. So when I first started researching this,
it's a homo action too. Wanna
like
knock
this.
a mother man out, take his lights out,
UFC
take his pants down,
is
stick your dick
disguised
in.
as a fighting
It's a homosexual
sport, but in
thing, man.
reality, it's just a way for men to watch other men butt pump.
Here's what it is, Owen. I come across dudes like you all the time in the real world that I want to strangle to death, and I can't do that. I can't do it to you, Owen. Because it's against the law. So I'm saying now, I want to, but I'm not going to, Owen. Punch your fucking lights out. And I love it. Yeah, he's taking the glove, he's shoving it up his booty. That dude is out cold. And what this other dude, he's about ready to fucking hit the guy in the face again while he's unconscious. He might be dead. Here Owen is, like, with some fucking music behind it, all butthurt, no pun intended, about porcelain, no pun intended. Look at this, we'll freeze frame, homo.
Without penetration. According to the Supreme Court, pornography, one of the Supreme Court justices, famous...
Doesn't it look like he's just not even having fun at this point? It doesn't even look like Owen's having fun at this point. I think if you're not having fun anymore, I understand he has to do it because he gets donations from his live streams, and you pretty much have to keep doing it. Feed the bear, so to speak. But it comes back to bite you. It looks like he's having a miserable fucking time. His mustache is gone. He's looking very frail, and like anybody could kick his ass. Like any gay guy walking down the street, like, hey guys, like that guy would tear Owen's ass up. That's how pussy you look, Owen.
He once said, I can't define porn, but I know it when I see it. I couldn't agree more. I know.
Porn, even PG, let's just say like Skinamax porn, is going to show like a tit. And we know that the women in the UFC don't show tit. They cover up completely. Now, I'm not going to say that in some of these fights, like Paige Van Zant and that other chick wasn't incredibly enjoyable to watch. But it's not intended as porn, Owen. Neither are the fights between the men intended for you to feel all weird inside, you know, because you secretly want to eat a bag of dicks.
When I see it. And then I saw other images.
And also, that's not sodomy. Well, sodomy is forced anal, right? Am I wrong there? But that would be, like, that's a violent rape if they were having sex, because that man is asleep. So, someone call the authorities. That's not consensual.
It's like this here. This looks like a classic missionary homosexual position.
I think I know who that guy is, but what it is it's actually called, he's got him in full guard, and what this other guy's trying to do is he's trying to pass his knees, he's trying to pass his guard, and he's trying to get into either half guard or full mount, and that's the end of the story. You could say that, behind all that, maybe they have cups on too, so there's like a lot of barrier in between the actual parts. I mean, your dick gets closer to the cashier guy than their dicks are actually like that close to touching. There's so much in between it, man. Chill out, Owen.
Where two men engage in butt pumping, where one's penis goes in the other man's butt.
And this isn't trolling. If your entire life consists of talking about sodomy and always are the people in the UFC gay, you're not trolling at this point. You've adopted the persona of trolling so you can voice what you actually feel. Your retarded, manic episodes that you constantly display on the internet. Now you have some sort of reason to say, oh, I'm being edgy by trolling. No, Owen. You're being an imbecile.
And the fact they're wearing shorts and what appears to be some sort of pants.
What do you want him to wear, pants? Have you seen It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? When Charlie spreads his legs and he's like, look how fucking wide I can get. And he's got denim jean shorts on. Like, you wear shorts so you can, like, kick and shit. Because when you're head kicking, you're like doing the splits almost. So, it's not a fashion choice, Owen.
Protection somehow is a way to shield the fact that it is in fact homosexual pornography. Now, I consulted some of my...
You know what seems very homosexual? Not that there's anything wrong with that. Hey, Owen, if you're gay, man, it's cool. It's cool. It's 2000, almost 20, man. But the way you talk about Toe Rogan and go on and on about he's shorter than you, but he could kick your ass. Like, oh yeah, he's shorter than me. He could kick my ass, but that doesn't mean anything. It seems to mean something to you, Owen. The fact that you are an old man who probably couldn't defend himself against an 8-year-old girl, that affects you deeply. And you seem to be going through some things And I don't want to be too hard on you, bro, but you are being a fucking asshole.
Fighter friends. I have a lot of fighter friends. I have some friends that are actually in
Toe Rogan?
UFC, a lot of MMA guys.
Yeah, man, I got a lot of gay friends, too. Got a lot of gay UFC fighter friends. We roll, we wrestle and stuff. Yeah, man, it's, you know, and we had a conversation one time at dinner. I was like, it's cool that you're in the UFC. It's also cool that you're gay. I know those things are one and the same. You went into the UFC because you're gay and all that, but I just want to know I respect you, bro. Even if you could physically hold me down and stick your cock in my ass without me wanting you to, you're super gay. And not saying you're gay because you're gay. I'm saying that's gay, that you could do that to me. Homo.
A lot of boxers, wrestlers. I hang out with a lot of animals. And I said,
I hang out with a lot of beasts. A lot of beasts on a daily basis. I could very well get my ass kicked today from hanging out with these beasts. But I tread through. You know? These homos aren't going to hold me down and forcibly butt rape me.
Is what you're doing technically sodomy? So it turns out that the fighting, this is my case I'm going to make.
All right, let's hear it. Hurry up.
I don't know what kind of music this is. I don't have time to...
Yeah, it's like fucking Alfred Hitchcock shit. This is bad, Owen. Do something inspirational, something groovy.
Fine, good music.
You suck at this. If you were trying to do a documentary, you fucking suck. You can't even make fun of it properly.
Music. Actually, this one track just says sneaky mystery.
Dead air. Dead air.
Perfect.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I'm
looks like
wondering
some
if
fucking kooky nighttime lullaby shit. Yeah, that really set the mood, Owen.
UFC is in fact gay porn. I will acknowledge that fighting, going all the way back to the Greco-Romans, and the Greeks were pretty much the ones who invented man-on-man butt sex.
Like I said, Greek Roman wrestling. You want to get butt naked and wrestle or something?
The grappling, the digging, the grinding, the pumping. It's a way to fight another man that wants to kill you, right? So
it's a way of submitting your opponent. And it's one of the purest forms of combat because there's no ball. You're not kicking anything around. You're kicking each other's head. And if you don't kick that guy's head, he's going to kick you in the head. So it's one of the most exhilarating, pure forms of combat and competition. So he's acknowledging that right now. But then he's going to turn around and be like, oh, it's gay. So as soon as that happens, the video's done. He's going to give fighting and he's going to give grappling and wrestling its props, its due, its cred. Because these people, I would never even imagine, like, having a freaking workout, like, literally as a living, and then get in a cage and fight people. I couldn't imagine that. It takes a lot of dedication and work. And he understands that. He acknowledges it. But then he's going to turn around and be like, but trying to submit your opponent by holding them down forcibly is kind of like sodomy.
There's something there. I will admit that the sport of grappling, the sport of jiu-jitsu is not...
What about boxing? What about Mike Tyson? Is Mike Tyson gay? He will bite your ear off, motherfucker.
In fact, homosexual. But as I followed the breadcrumbs, the reason I'm saying that the UFC is homosexual and not MMA is because MMA itself is not a homosexual act. You can fight a man and sleep with a clean conscience that night that you did not engage in a homosexual.
Okay, well, Owen, what then were the pictures just before where you were showing these men in these positions and it looked weird? It looked like that man was going to do something to that other man. What's that about then, Owen? Because I'm pretty sure those grappling positions aren't just in the fucking UFC. They're kind of MMA, not just UFC. So it's funny how you say, this isn't about fighting. You know, fighting's manly. This is specifically about the UFC because of Toe Rogan.
Sexual act. Now, I saw this picture. These are two UFC fighters.
Yeah, guess what? I think in the face-offs, the shit they do, it's weird. They're trying to get into each other's minds and psych each other out right before they fight each other. So apparently if you're going in and about to almost kill someone, touching lips isn't that big of a deal. But let's see what Owen has to say about it.
And when I say fighters, I say that with quotes because I am making the case that they are in fact homosexual.
I love that. Anderson Silva, the longest reigning, what was he? He was the middleweight, longest reigning middleweight UFC champion of all time. I believe he defended his title like 9 times against fucking absolute beasts. And that's Chris Weidman. Anderson Silva actually broke his shin over Chris Weidman's shin, and it split in half. And then he tried to plant it back down on the mat again, like Eminem said, and it just fucking, it was all wobbly like a noodle. So these homosexuals would kill you.
Pornography stars. And they...
You think Anderson Silva's a porn actor.
appears they are kissing. Now, what two men do in their own lives...
God, I can't deal with it anymore. He thinks he's being funny, and it's just... I'm done. I peeked in for a second to see where this was going, Owen, and it's completely where I thought it was going. Now you're backtracking on the fact that, it's not fighting, it's specifically the UFC. Could you be any more see-through?